and welcome to day 3 of Acting Outside the Box, my series. To demystify that term, it's simply doing things differently, not necessarily following the established route. And my case study as I go through these sessions is my self published novel, One Summer Season, a young man's brutal baptism into love and baseball. Um, Today, we're going to talk about genres. Uh, just to those of you who are fellow authors, we all know what genres are. To other people, a romance is a genre, literary fiction is a genre, science fiction, fantasy. Fantasy is very big. And then you can get actually into subgenres such as zombie novels and vampire novels. But some of them also go by age groups. You obviously have children's books. You have what is called young adult, which is usually aimed for people ages 13 to 18. One Summer Season is aimed at a new category which has developed over the past, very recent past, and it's called New Adult. And New Adult aims at 18 to 24-year-olds. And this is my main target audience. And I say that just simply because the way I have written this book, it spans something beyond the 18 to 24-year-old. But that is my target audience because that is where my protagonist is. And the trials and tribulations that he encounters are those that are quite common to 18 to 24-year-olds. You no longer are the high school kid. You're not in familiar surroundings often. People go off to college. In the case of R.W. Clay, my protagonist, he goes into the world of professional baseball, the lowest rung. The other thing is that I took the time to expand those genres as more as far as age group. Um, when I first wrote it, it was a true new adult novel. I used some terms in there. There's some language in there. There are situations about intimacy and girlfriends. There was, as I said, some language. We're talking about young baseball players. We're talking locker room talk. When I got into my final edits uh, to uh, to publish this on Smashwords, I went back and took out a lot of those new adult kind of words and made it much more um, adaptable to younger readers as well. Those in the young adult category. One of the tags I put on this novel when I filed with Smashwords simply says 14 and older. And I think for, yeah, you might have a 12 or 13 year old kid who is pretty mature and can handle some of the situations, but I do get into situations of RW and his girlfriend parking out on a rural road. And we talk about intimacy and love. It's much more than a baseball book. Um, it's a coming of age book. It's a violence book. It is many things. And for when I say 14 or older, I'd say, hey, adults are going to like this book too. And you don't have to be an avid sports fan to like One Summer Season. I just I my journalism past. The one thing I loved to do was to write feature stories, And in a feature story, you delve down into little intricacies and details of someone's life. If you're a good interviewer, you're able to do that. And obviously, since I am creating this character, I get to be an interview who knows everything about R.W. Clay and his girlfriend and his teammates that he runs into in Grand Junction, Colorado. So that is my, to a degree, it's a journalistic work. I work a lot with character studies. Um, when I first started writing, I fancied myself as, oh, I'll be a thriller writer. And one of my protagonists would definitely fit into a thriller motif. My problem is I want to go much deeper into characters than in a thriller. I had a female agent who handles some very good thriller writers, and she asked to take a look at one of my manuscripts, and she said, "Hey, you write well, but you don't know what a thriller is. You know, you need to go back. Thrillers are very stripped down um, about the complexities of character. Lee Child comes the closest to overcoming that obstacle as he builds Jack Reacher. But my novel, you know, 14-year-old kid, they understand this. Maybe they haven't gone through the intimacy thing, the close girlfriend boyfriend relationship, the problems of one of those people in that couple taking off to follow their dream and their profession. But that's okay. Um, I'm happy with what I have done. But you know, I did not, in my final edits and my publication of this, I did not follow the basic genre rule of, okay, you're writing for 13 to 18. You know, you only talk about certain things. You try and keep it clean, which I did. But I also talked a lot about new adult themes, very in depth into new adult themes. Um, and, you know, any adult, you know, of any age would, I believe, like this novel, I get into, you know, okay, have you ever raised a child? Yeah, okay, you're going to like this because you're going to look back at um, raising your children through that very difficult time. I mean, let's all think back to when we were 18 years old and stepping out into a brand new world, whether it was going to college or suddenly becoming a full time worker in your old hometown or heading off to start a professional baseball career. It's filled with perils and new situations and new challenges. And I bring all of those to bear. And I'm not afraid to, I wasn't afraid to do it. The best way to tell this story and to make RW a real person and surround him by real people was to go into this multi genre style of writing. So, you know, that's it for today. We're going to keep it a little bit shorter. I remember when I was planning to do these little discussions, I figured, oh, I can get this done in, you know, 2, 3, 4 minutes. That isn't happening. Um, there's just more to talk about. So right now we're going to be at about 9.5 minutes. I have my cup of coffee, and I need it this morning. It's a slow starting morning. So tomorrow we're going to talk about character, and R.W. Clay in particular is a much different character than you are going to find in most novels, almost exclusively in all novels. And I'll get into all of that tomorrow. Have a good day. I'm looking into our last day of nice sunshine here in Denver. We're supposed to get into heavy rain, and we're getting into mid-April, and we might have as much as a foot of snow by the end of Sunday. I'm so over snow for the season, so goodbye. Anyway, talk to you tomorrow. We talk character. You get to know R.W. Clay, one aspect of his life much better. So we'll talk then. Have a good day.